It came as something of a surprise to hear that Frank Herbert's classic science fiction novel, Dune, is being remade into a new film. In honor of this new Dune remake that has been dubbed the Star Wars for Adults, I've been reflecting on the impact that Dune has had on my life, which is surprisingly no small amount. While it's not very often that I can say that a novel has had a noticeable impact on my life, Dune is easily one of the only books that come to mind when I think of an artistic piece of work that has directly altered my mindset and course of thinking. In a genuine way, I can say that Dune has improved my life. While I don't have a great memory and can't remember every story detail or plot point of Dune, there is a recited litany and a line of dialogue that has on many occasions forced me to consciously question my future and how I was going to approach it. The first thing that I draw on from Dune is not in any way unique. This litany is revered by Dune fans the world over because of its powerful mental call to action against the unknown. It is known as the Litany Against Fear, and it goes as follows.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me.
This fictional litany stood out to me in a profound way as a young man. The wording of this phrase is unique and compelling. If taken literally, fear literally kills the mind. In a way, I think this is physically true. I'm not a neurologist, but it makes sense to me that every time we let fear take control of our minds, we're losing a battle against ourselves and our own interests, which can negatively impact our brain and how it functions in the future. The litany is not saying that it's wrong to experience fear, but that we have to acknowledge fear for what it is. Fear is meant to make us stop and evaluate our circumstances. However, fear, if permitted, can also prevent us from doing the bold thing that may enrich our lives. Fear is meant to protect against danger, and yet doing dangerous things can often lead to even greater happiness and success. That is why acknowledging your fear is essential. Are you afraid of doing something because that something is dangerous and is highly likely to destroy us physically or mentally? Or is the fear we're experiencing a safeguard to let us know that the path forward is uncertain, but possibly rewarding? For all the times I've been faced with a scary decision in my life, whether it's something as straightforward as quitting a job to go to school, I still feel an element of fear. That fear makes me not want to do that thing because it's unknown what the future will bring if I choose that path. But what fear doesn't tell us is that the future is always unknown, even when we keep going the way we've always gone. There is no way we can remove the element of danger from our lives, so why do we fear change? Whenever I'm frozen with uncertainty, those words, fear is the mind killer, have somehow always managed to enter my mind. It has somehow clawed its way into my consciousness and always seems to pop up when I need a reminder that I control the decisions that affect my future, not my fear. I can't count how many times in my life I've been faced with a fork in the road that literally scared me, and I've made the plunge to do the more scary, uncertain thing, almost all because of this phrase. Fear is the mind killer forces me to ask, am I not doing the hard thing because I'm scared? If so, the fear is literally killing my mind. Do I want that in my life, to be controlled by fear? To destroy my mind and my future because of uncertainty? Acknowledging the fear and assessing its warnings is crucial, but letting that fear dictate the outcome of every decision is fatal. The second thing that made an impression on my mind was one of the early scenes in the book when Paul Atreides, the hero of the story, is being trained by Gurney Halleck, Paul's weapon teacher. After trying a careless move, hoping to catch Halleck off guard, Paul is surprised when Halleck outmaneuvers him and scolds him for being so reckless, even for a training exercise. "You're an apt pupil," Halleck says, "none better. But I've warned you that not even in play do you let a man inside your guard with death in his hand." "I guess I'm not in the mood for it today," Paul replies. Mood? What has mood to do with it? You fight when the necessity arises, no matter the mood. Mood's a thing for cattle, or making love, or playing the ballast set. It's not for fighting. This particular exchange between these two characters made me question my life in a way I never had before when I read Dune for the first time. How much of a role does mood play throughout our day? Does it keep us from living a life of purpose because we don't feel like doing everything in our power to enrich our lives? I still question myself every day for times when I'm not doing something that needs doing just because I don't feel like it. Ultimately, we live in a world that is very much outside of our control, but what we do have control over is our mood. Living life isn't a choice. We didn't choose to be born, and we didn't choose our initial circumstances, but whether we like it or not, we're here, and we're here to stay for an unknown duration of time. What we feel about life has nothing to do with us living our lives. Your feelings can't stop you from acting. Only inaction can do that. Action invites increased action. It's impossible to surpass our feelings and moods entirely, but it comes down to a matter of control. Who do we let run the show, our mood or our mind? This is what Dune taught me, that I'm not a victim of my own self. I'm the master of my own self. These two passages from Dune have become an integral part of my life. As such, I can say with certainty that Frank Herbert's Dune has changed my life. Not bad for a science fiction classic. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.